What's up? This is a different type of video. This is an alarming and disturbing type of video that I don't normally make. This is one that's pretty much disgusting at this day and time that we still have to deal with facilities like this. You would think that this would be a thing of the past, especially in a place like the Mandalay Bay or the Las Vegas Strip, the main strip by now, that they would have cleaned up their act a little bit. And unfortunately, some people just don't believe in that being the case. Now, I'm not singling this one place out, simply saying that only this place is like this. There's probably many others, but this one definitely needs a light shined upon it. This nightclub called the Light in the Mandalay Bay Hotel in Las Vegas. Over the years, there have been many incidents surrounding this place. With the former owner, Andrew Sasson, and the Light Group LLC, they owned a number of clubs on the Las Vegas Strip, the Light being one of them. During that time, there were harassment lawsuits, sexual harassment, discrimination, and all of these different type of lawsuits filed against Sassoon and his partner. And these lawsuits were settled, and people got their money and went their separate ways. But they had to sell basically and get out of the business. Now the club slash bar is owned by a billionaire who owns and took over the remaining part, of whatever the group owned, the Light Group. But the Light Nightclub itself, daylight, and then there's the Light. The Light is the nightclub. This is like one of the most happening emo type of clubs supposedly on the strip. But yet, this nightclub is faced with many different racial, sexist, discriminatory, whatever you want to call it, just discrimination all the way across the board. Nothing was more alarming than just a couple of weeks ago. A couple of weeks ago, a group of friends went out because another friend was turning 21. Her parents decided to take all of them to Las Vegas. They rented a house, they got the party bus, they all got on the bus, and they all went to club by club. And the Light just happened to be one of the clubs on this tour. Now, when they arrive, all of the group members go in except for two. There's one dark-skinned woman in there. She's black and Puerto Rican. And her friend is of Latin descent, but she sometimes looks kind of Caucasian. You could probably say that. But she's Hispanic. She goes to the restroom, her and her friend. They come back, and the security only sees them, even though they have their bracelets to get in. He's very abrasive, very hands-on, pushing, getting in their face, and very aggressive to these women. Now, he tells the one girl who's dark-skinned, tells her, "What are you doing here? You're drunk. You're inebriated. Get out of here. You're not getting in there." She's like, "I got a bracelet. I'm not drunk." "I said you're drunk. You're disturbing. Back up. You're not getting in here." So he tells the other girl that, "Oh, look at you. You're drunk too. Hey, get her some water." It's like, get her some water. But the dark-skinned girl, he didn't offer her any water. He brought her inside, gave her some water. Dark-skinned girl had to sit outside. And while he belittles her because she's by herself and everyone else is on the inside, he feels tough to belittle her. then lied and said she was sitting out on the curb and she's drunk and belligerent. She's on private property. He's throwing her off the property. So she's telling him that her people are on the inside. They came in as a group. So they go in and tell the group, well, you guys can stay, but your friend, she's got to go. They was like, no, we came together. We're going to leave together. That's just it. We're just going to leave this place. Come on, let's go. So they get there, and there's a big argument at the front door because the father is actually there. He the one who was chaperoning them as they were going to these different nightclubs. So he gets into it with the bouncer. They're having an argument about the situation and why it is happening. The black girl, she's crying because she doesn't understand what she did wrong. So one of the employees come out and said this happens a lot here. And what was shocking and disturbing is that this person that works for this establishment actually stated that in this facility that they have an agenda here where they are supposed to keep a certain number of African Americans, or they don't want it to be too black. In other words, they don't say those exact words, but on their quota, according to this employee slash, I don't know if he still works there anymore. According to him, he says they don't want to let in too many people of color because fights break out and they want to kind of monitor and keeping fights down and just having a selected few come in. That's why they really enforce this dress codes and things of this nature, but they really harass more than detain and they discriminate. Now, this one case just was alarming because I was like, wow, I'm shocked that this still goes on. Now, people of color and Hispanics who I've decided to, follow up about this and say, well, what's going on here at this club? And people have been reaching out to me about this nightclub and their experiences there from 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And this person who went there named Tiago said he was there with his wife. They went there, they got tickets because they was, approached by a promoter, told them to get there at a certain time. They got there. It was a line around the corner. They gave them free drink tickets. And about the time they got in, and it was pretty rude. And everybody was unresponsive and just very rude, yelling at everybody. And this was not what they wanted. It was such an embarrassing situation for them. And they didn't know how to treat the people that actually come there and spend money. So Tiago told me that he's never going back to this place again because they totally discriminated against him and he didn't understand why. He didn't know. He was thinking it was something he did. And he had free passes. It's like, why would you give me passes to a place you don't want me at? But here's the thing. They had J. Cole there. They got Ludacris come there. You have artists, DJ Mustard, you got artists of color there, but you don't want people of color in your facility. That's what it seems like here. And you would be surprised and just shocked of how bad these situations are. From sexual harassments in this club, people grabbing you that work for the club, to actual injuries that happen in this club. That these people were just so unprofessional. It was just unbelievable. It's terrible. I'm very hurt by right now because I can't really believe that this still goes on. It was a lady who hurt herself in the club, twisted her ankle because some guy grabbed her and tried to snatch her in the VIP to do drugs or whatever. She hurts herself, and they were staying at the Delano, whatever. They gave her tickets, and she's from Phoenix, Arizona. Okay, and they gave her. She's out there, having a good time with her friends, her girlfriends. Somebody grabbed her arm in the VIP area, and someone else tried to help her, and she wrenched her arm away, and she stumbled down the 2 steps, and she hurt her ankle. And the security guard was right there, who didn't care at all. And a male friend that she knew, who was there, saw her and knew what happened, and saw the guy that did it. And when they got back to the table, one of the servers came and gave a bag of ice. The manager came up there, and he's mad because he wants to know why the server come give her a thing of ice. He's chastising that person. And at that same time, this is a multi-million-dollar establishment in the Mandalay Bay. They have no medical people on staff there. They saying, no, we don't do that, and you would have to go in the hospital. Either you could take a cab or get an ambulance or whatever. And they're trying to bring in paperwork, and they're taking pictures of a foot. Like, take a picture of a foot. Sign this form. They trying to get her to sign a form. She's like, what is this you want me to sign? Saying that she's refused to go in an ambulance when they haven't even offered to send her in an ambulance. They were just telling her options that she could do, basically on her dime, not their dime. They just trying to get her to sign these papers. So inside this nightclub, nobody in the casino hotel that they didn't have a ace bandage or anything. She just wanted to wash her hands on this situation at this point, and she just wanted to get out of there and get out of Las Vegas and get out of this place, because this is the last time she wanted to come there. And now she don't want to go stay at that hotel or the Delano ever again. And it's because of places like this nightclub. And this was over a year ago that this happened. And it's sad that these scenarios are happening more frequent at this club. Why are people not noticing or complaining about this? I contacted this nightclub to try to get them to respond, and they had no way. They basically gave me the runarounds, saying, "Oh no, we're all in a meeting, right? They're all in the meeting, all the managers." I said, "Well, this is my contact number. This is what it's about. Tell them to call me." Even call the person that does their planning for them, the manager who basically booked their parties. I spoke to them. I spoke to clients who have rented out that place for parties. Spoke to them. Then Brittany, woman named Brittany, went there a year ago again, right around the same time, and actually discussed the fact that security was very rude and discriminatory towards women. Now, that's very weird that she had actually made a post about this. August the 3rd, 2016. Said the bouncer was very big and being very rude and had a smart mouth. And when her friend wasn't having it, they just threw everybody out. But she made it to be known that this person seems to be discriminatory against women. And then you have the incident just happened a few weeks ago. Now, this is over a year ago. So everybody's wrong. Is that what they want you to believe? Another person from Huntsville, Texas, went there. Went there with a couple of his friends, and some girls were there. Same thing. Promoter gave them some tickets, told them to come in the line, and the line was about 100 people in line. They waited for about 2 hours, and they're like, "Look, I can't do this. This is 2 hours waiting in this line." And the guy was like, well, I'm gonna try to get you guys in. He's there with his sister and his girlfriend, and they get in there, and when they get in there, the staff is like very disrespectful and yelling at them like it's their fault. They don't know they're supposed to show their ID twice. He's like, well, we didn't know. We got the bracelet. We don't care about that. So the bouncers are very inappropriate, and the drinks, what they said, was terribly expensive. But what was wrong is they were more handsy than anybody that they have. Like, they groped his sister and his girlfriend, the security grabbing him and frisking on him, being extra handsy with them. And that's when it's, escalated to somewhere he had to say something like, hey, that's my wife. That's my sister. And they were there less than like 15, 20 minutes, and they were out of there after arguing with everybody. They argued with one security guard who claimed he was the manager and he was running everything there. And I'm wondering how a place like this stays in business. All they did when all this heat was on this place before, they flushed out old management, brought new management in, and kept the same things going on. That's what it seems to appear like here. Now, I never make these videos, but something had to be said. Something had to be said here. Because I don't want anybody I know to wind up in a place like this and have this experience. And this one lady who didn't want to put her name out there, she's from Puerto Rico, and she's a U.S. citizen though, and she just came back from Puerto Rico, and the guy at the door wouldn't let them in because he didn't like their IDs. And he's like, our license, our official driver's license for Puerto Rico and incorporated territory of the United States. So it's like, we are U.S. citizens. He told us to show them a passport. He's like, who carries a passport in their own country? It's important to know that we are inside 2 hours of the this situation. So they were inside the place for 2 hours before they were actually approached again. They had orange bracelets and everything. But this was a case of, in their point of view, of just plain being racist. And they want them to go educate themselves and read about the history and politics of the country before you decide to go throw people out. And a former employee told me that they they make sure that if a bunch of African American men are trying to go into place, if the place is near capacity, they don't want too many African Americans in the place, period. They won't pick on them and find anything wrong with their attire. Oh, your pants are a little too baggy right here. Yeah, you can't wear this in here. Oh, yeah, this chain is too long. We don't like this type of jewelry in here. Yeah, you're going to have to tuck your shirt in. Oh, you don't have a belt. You can't get in. Oh, yeah, you can't. They won't come up with any excuse to make you feel uncomfortable to leave. They don't want the element, what they call the element in there. If they have a certain quote status quo, I'm quite sure if you ask the hotel, they'll never own up to that. But the fact that they even avoided me to even talk about it, to even say, no, this is a lie, well, that speaks volume for itself. So that's all I got to say. I'm out.